How do we build self-worth? It's not something that other people give us. Sure, there might be a time where we benefit from getting validation from the people in our lives, from our friends, from our family, from our lovers. But if we never shift our attention back onto ourselves and ask ourselves, why is it that we don't believe the very thing that other people are telling us? Then we won't actually ever evolve beyond the need of constant reinforcement from the outside. And that puts us in a vulnerable position. Because if that person goes, if that person moves on, if that relationship ends, then where is our self-worth coming from? So one of the things that I have found incredibly useful working with clients and in my own practice is making sure that I'm tracking when I receive validation, when I go to someone in search of reassurance, that I'm tracking how it feels in my body when I receive it. And what I'm tracking for is a felt sense of resonance, some feeling of relief when the words land, some sense of feeling organized on the inside, like things feel simpler or clearer, or I have more connection to myself, that I am available fully to the present moment. And if that's not my experience, if there's resistance in my system, if there's something that feels on the defensive, that is indicating to me that there is some wound, there is some incomplete process that is being protected by the organism that I am. There is some wound, there is some thing that's being protected. And so before those words can really land, before I can take them all the way in and adopt them as truth and remind myself when that external presence isn't there to help me reinforce the thinking, I need to turn to the conversation that is being asked to be had on the inside. That place of resistance is key if we can be in a practice of noticing what we're feeling, tasking the mind as observer, to not assign meaning to what we're feeling, but to just watch. We're basically applying the mechanics of meditation to understand the felt experience that we're having, not to work from the cognitive, from the prefrontal cortex that is trying to prescribe meaning to what I am feeling, but to direct my attention to the feeling itself. To get quiet and still and let there be some space on the inside between what I'm feeling and how I respond to it. And in that space, pay attention and see if there's any other information that rises to the surface from the subconscious. With practice, if it doesn't happen the first time, with practice, it will. And it is that information that is stuck in time, that is being held by your tissues in that resistance, that needs to be understood and integrated in order for you to receive the truth that you are worthy to be here, that your life matters, that you contain magic, that you have some purpose to fulfill on this earthly plane. It is not from bypassing those places of resistance that we learn to love ourselves. It is in digesting that density that we free up what is creating drag in our system so that we can fully step forward whole, rather than letting the parts of us that want things to be better, the parts of us that try to convince us that we're making too big of a deal, rather than being led by those determinant parts. That is a forcing of will that more often than not is conditioned by culture or social pressures that say push through, that value a particular kind of work ethic, that promote productivity, that don't revere the feminine, that belittle weakness, that see feeling or emotion as weakness. So when we slow down and we become more discerning around what's actually happening on the inside of us, when we recover those parts that have been isolated on the inside, it is from that place that we recover our humanity. And it is only with our humanity intact that we will ever truly love ourselves.